Yo, what's good, everybody? Today I'm breaking down and giving you my prediction for the upcoming rematch between Oleksandr Usyk and Daniel Dubois. Looking at the tail of the tape, we see that Dubois has a record of 22-2 with 21 knockouts. He's in the prime of his life at 27 years old. He stands at about 6'5" and has a 7-8 inch reach. Usyk is undefeated with a record of 23-0 with 14 knockouts. He's probably past his best athletic years, seeing as he's already 38 years old. He stands at 6'3", and he too has a 7-8 inch reach. Now, obviously, these two have fought before, with Usyk being the winner. He knocked Dubois out with a jab in the ninth, I believe it was, but that was 2 years ago now. And I was actually in the arena that night. I was in Poland, and it was an open arena, and it was pissing rain that night. From my vantage point, it looked as though from start to finish, really, Usyk dominated Dubois. I thought he swept every round en route to the knockout, of course. But as I was saying, that was 2 years ago. Usyk was only 36 years old, and he has yet to receive the damage he took from the Fury fights. And Dubois, on the other hand, he was only 26. I guess, some would make an excuse and say he was too green back then. But, now he's ready, apparently. Now he's been through the rigors. He's battle-tested and better than ever. Of course, what I'm saying right now is the narrative that some would have you believe. Obviously, since that defeat to Usyk, Dubois has been running through the division. He went bang for bang with Jarrell Miller and knocked him out in the closing seconds of their fight to prove that he's not a quitter. He then pulled another upset and forced a stoppage against Hrgovic. And his crowning moment thus far was his most recent win against Anthony Joshua, where he battered AJ until he eventually landed the knockout of the year in 2024. It seems that Dubois' 3-fight run has invigorated him and his team. After trucking through his last 3 opponents, he seems to be as confident as ever, which is, that's good for them, and I hate to kill the suspense, but I'm just not buying it, I'm just really not buying it. It reminds me of Anthony Joshua's 4 or 5 fight run after losing to Usyk. Obviously, this run is better because he fought better fighters, but the confidence that AJ got from his run kind of reminds me of the confidence that Daniel Dubois got from this run. I don't know. That's just how I feel. You guys might slander me for that, but that's how I feel. I just don't think Dubois will beat Usyk this Saturday. I just don't see it, and I have a few reasons why. The first reason being that, we all saw what happened in the first fight. It wasn't even remotely close. Usyk took Dubois to class and inadvertently even sunned him in a post-fight interview by encouraging the young buck to keep going and to not quit. Usyk's lead hand got the job done in 2023, and I believe it will get the job done again. His lead hand left Dubois confused and stuck, right? Dubois had no answer for it. This time around, sure, he may have a lot more resolve, and his self-belief might be on a whole nother level, and he might come with a different game plan, to show no respect to Usyk, to ignore Usyk's lead hand, and just bulldoze right through, to be relentless and to be ruthless. But I'm telling you right now, Usyk will find a way to keep his lead hand in Dubois' face again, and he will hypnotize and control him with it. Dubois wouldn't be able to tell a feint from a probe, from a jab, from a hook. This will leave him hesitant and reluctant, and at times even frozen. You see, Dubois may have done what he did to Miller, Hrgovic, and AJ, right? But Dubois even knows this. Dubois knows this. Usyk is a whole nother beast. He is a complex fighter. He's a thinker. He's an unyielding, problem-solving chess player in the ring. The 3 guys that Dubois knocked out prior to this rematch have no similarities to Usyk at all. They're not as mobile. They're not as smart. They're not as creative. They're not as tough. They don't have the footwork, the skills and abilities, the hunger, the will, the heart. And they just don't fight like Usyk, They don't fight like Usyk. nor do they have his qualities in terms of boxing or character. I mean no disrespect, right? But to be blunt, them guys are so much simpler, you know. Miller is a tough, rugged, voluminous, flat-footed fighter. Hrgovic, a slow, stationary, 1-2, flat-footed fighter. AJ, a big, heavy-handed, flat-footed fighter. All three are big, immobile, flat-footed, orthodox fighters. The last time Dubois fought someone smaller than him, someone who actually utilizes the ring and moves around, someone who is mobile and creates angles, someone who is a southpaw, was Oleksandr Usyk, and he got schooled, flat out schooled. And I really don't think much will be different in this fight. It may be a bit tougher because, well, like I said, I can really see Dubois really going for it this time, attempting to just truck his way in and work the body and eventually mix it up and touch Usyk's chin. But Usyk already knows this, right? Usyk knows Dubois only has one way of winning, and he will have the answer to anything and everything that Daniel Dubois does. All right, let's quickly talk about the controversy in the first fight. Now, me, I don't know. I don't really have a strong opinion on it. It was clearly low, right, as it was below the belt. But I get people's arguments when they say it wasn't to the balls. My thing is, it doesn't matter if it was to the balls. The rules and the ref state that anything below the belt is illegal. And unfortunately for Daniel Dubois, that was below the belt, and the ref called it as illegal. The people, and especially Dubois' team, who are upset with Usyk for the ref's judgment, you know, I believe they're being a little bit ridiculous. Usyk wasn't the one that officially ruled that shot a low blow. Either way, Don Charles had the audacity to disrespect Usyk regarding that subject, calling him a liar. And in an attempt to clear Dubois' name from being labeled as a cheater, he asked the public to find any low blows that Dubois landed on Usyk in that fight. And lo and behold, someone actually made a compilation video that showcased like 11 or 12 low blows that Dubois landed blatantly on Usyk in under 9 rounds, which is insane and a little funny. But yeah, surely Usyk and his team this time around will implore the ref to be mindful of any foul play. That includes the shots below the belt and the headbutts. And hopefully the ref will be a lot more strict with it and actually penalize the offender this time around. And another thing, as I mentioned earlier, they fought in an open arena and it was pouring rain that night. I would know, I was there, right? And Paulie Malignaggi actually made a good point of how the wet canvas must have hindered Usyk's footwork and mobility a little bit that night. Just food for thought, you know? So truthfully, I'm expecting Usyk to be much quicker than Dubois. I expect he'll be gliding around the ring, circling out away from the right hand and creating advantageous angles. I'm expecting him to dominate the lead hand battle as well, which, by the way, Dubois loves to shoot with his opponent. He loves to shoot his jab with the opponent. So yeah, watch for that. And then watch for Usyk's adjustments. Watch the adjustments that he makes. He's going to implement the probes, the hand and foot feints beautifully to cancel all of that out. So please just watch for that. It's going to be terrific. And I also expect Usyk to have really tight defense, especially to the body, because, well, Dubois and his team seem to think that Usyk's weakness is the body. They think they got robbed out of a body shot knockout. So I'm sure they'll go back to that. You know, they're going to be stubborn and stay the course. Another thing, Usyk has showed us that he really improves and levels up when it comes to rematches. We saw that against AJ. You know, yes, AJ had a better performance and he fought a little bit better in the second fight, but, you know, so did Usyk. And obviously, Usyk beat Fury in a more convincing fashion in their rematch earlier this year. So I expect no different here. I think he comes out of this fight unscathed, or at least without any scary or controversial moments. Overall, I don't really care what type of run Dubois is coming off of. I'm sure he has improved and leveled up a little bit, but he still can't match Usyk on the things that matter the most, and that is IQ, right? And also, you know, we all know this, styles makes fights, and Usyk has a very unique style. It's a one of one, at least in the heavyweight division, right? Dubois, yes, it came off an impressive run, but he fought nobody like Usyk. Okay, he fought nobody like Oleksandr Usyk, and his newfound confidence and self-belief will only take him so far against the greatest fighter of this generation in Oleksandr Usyk. You know, power and confidence won't be enough to dethrone the heavyweight king of the world. Honestly, I might even favor Dubois against every other heavyweight today, and that includes Fury and Parker, right? But when it comes to Usyk, when it comes to Oleksandr Usyk, forget about it. Just forget about it. Usyk is far superior in almost every category, and it will show this Saturday as he domesticates Daniel Dubois. All right, so that's all I really have to say. If I was to put money on it, I would put money on Usyk by decision. I think Dubois will be tougher this time around. I don't think he's going to quit again after the backlash he received from the first fight. I think he'll hear the final bell, but I do think he gets dominated. It's going to be a UD win for Usyk, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they pull some bullshit and call it a split decision, seeing as they are fighting in Dubois' backyard. All right, but how do you see this fight going? Who do you have winning and how? Please leave your thoughts down in the comments below, and please leave a like and subscribe. And I really want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a lovely day.